This is the world's most dangerous bear. He can smell you from 20 miles away, and with one swipe of his paw, he can take your life. And yet, for some strange reason, he doesn't attack humans. Why, hi, it's me. This is a story about a polar bear. He lives in the Arctic Circle where the sun shines all day in the summer. It never gets dark. So this polar bear sleeps during the day and hunts at night. The Arctic Circle is also full of yummy food like seals. So they hang out on the ice, and the polar bear can easily catch them. But sometimes when he goes hunting, he can't find any food. Then he has to walk many, many miles to find something to eat. One time he was so hungry that he started eating rocks. Rocks aren't food, silly bear, but he was too hungry to care. He kept eating and eating until his tummy hurt. That's when he met the smartest animal in the Arctic Circle. "Hello," said the animal. "Why are you eating rocks?" "I'm hungry," said the bear. "There's nothing to eat in the Arctic Circle." The smart animal laughed. "You just have to know where to look. Follow me." They walked a little farther, and the smart animal pointed with his flipper. "There's a seal sitting right over there. Go get him." The polar bear was so excited. He ran as fast as he could, but the seal was too quick. He slid on the ice, and the polar bear couldn't catch him. The seal kept mocking the polar bear, so the polar bear did something crazy. He jumped into the water after the seal. Now, normally, a polar bear can't swim. They don't have webbed feet, like penguins, or flippers like seals. But this polar bear was too hungry to care. He paddled after the seal, but it was no use. The seal was just too fast. Finally, the polar bear had to give up. He climbed back on the ice and flopped down next to the seal. "Why don't you come swim with me?" asked the seal. "It's really fun." "I can't swim," said the polar bear. "I'm not built for the water." "Oh, that's silly," said the seal. "Everyone can swim, even you." The seal pushed the polar bear into the water with his nose. "Now push me and I'll show you how." The polar bear pushed the seal, and then he started to panic. He couldn't swim. He flailed his paws and tried to keep his head above the water, but he was in way too deep. And just as he was about to give up, the seal grabbed onto his fur and pulled him to the surface. "See, I told you you could do it," said the seal proudly. "You almost had me there. You're a good swimmer." The polar bear was exhausted. He shook himself and waddled back to shore. Still couldn't swim, but he didn't care. He had made a friend, and that's all that mattered. From that day on, the polar bear and the seal played together every day. They swam and slid around on the ice. They had so much fun. One day a group of polar bears were walking by, and they saw the polar bear playing with the seal. "Hey, what are you doing with that stupid seal?" one of the polar bears yelled. "He's my friend," the other polar bear said. "He's not stupid." "Oh, yeah. Well, why don't you go swimming with him then?" said the mean polar bear. "You're such a scaredy cat." The other polar bear felt embarrassed. He wanted to be brave like the other polar bears, but he was too scared to go swimming. That's when the seal came over and asked what was wrong. The polar bear explained that the other polar bears were making fun of him because he could unswim. "Well, that's just silly," said the seal. "Everyone can swim." The seal took the polar bear out into the water again. This time, the polar bear was a little bit more relaxed. He wasn't in a hurry to get back to shore, spent the whole day swimming and playing with the seal. When the other polar bears saw that he wasn't scared, they were amazed. "Wow, I guess he's not a scaredy cat after all," one of the polar bears said. The other polar bears apologized for making fun of him, and they all went swimming together. The end.